Hi there, welcome back to Can I Chase Paranormal Investigations. I'm really sorry I haven't had any actual investigations from Can I Chase for you recently, but it's something we've got planned in the future. So what this video is going to be about, it's going to be about a location, and normally I put up the maps and everything to locations, but I've been kind of asked to keep this location under wraps for fairly kind of sound reasons. But this location's a really interesting place. It's it kind of follows on from a couple of incidences of reported encounters with extraterrestrial beings, and which weren't necessarily in this exact location, but then over the last year there's been a number of sightings of unidentified aerial phenomena, commonly known as UAPs, which is it's kind of the term that's generally used for UFOs. UFOs had that idea that there's a little craft with two little green men manning that craft, who are coming down to to encounter you and abduct you and stuff like that. Whereas UAPs, generally kind of give us the idea that it could be a drone of some kind. It could be, albeit an extraterrestrial, interdimensional. It could be something that is just in the air that's just purely unexplained. So a friend of mine who's been studying this location for a while, who has shown me some incredible photographs of stuff he's taken, and I would say he's 100%. He's a reliable source of information, and he comes from a long history of investigation as well. So he's proper old school when it comes to this thing, but he's also like quite an expert in certain areas of the paranormal, on a practical basis and also a theoretical basis. He's the go-to guy if ever I need to ask anything, because I am actually quite naive when it comes to paranormal, the subject of paranormal stuff. And probably I'm gonna have to start doing some videos. I think I might do some videos where I explore instances, events that I have little understanding about, but that it makes me so curious as to what, why, how. That I'd like to maybe kind of touch on a few of these things in later videos. Not that I'm going to stop doing Can It Chase videos, but I would like to post a little bit more. It's just that investigations are generally once a month, and sometimes it's not always the footage isn't always very clear and stuff. I use very cheap equipment, and I do my best to be objective and try and debunk stuff, but sometimes my equipment kind of lets me down a little bit. Apart from the UAP issue, there's also a heavily influence of other paranormal phenomena, apparently, supposedly in this area. There's horsemen, there's other stuff going on as well, and yeah, inevitably, if it's me, it's going to involve a wood of some kind. So there is a very old, it feels like quite an ancient wood there, and I think this video might start with going into that wood. There's also kind of fields where the UAPs have been witnessed, and I don't really want to kind of, again, like I said, I don't really want to, I'm not going to be giving the location away, because it's not in our interest at the moment to do that. And if anyone's going to give a location away, it will be my friend who, this is his, this is his project essentially. But if a UFO comes to land in a field, I'm going to be recording it. That's going on YouTube, and I'll await the visit from the Men in Black to kind of make sure I take it off YouTube, but you know, all in good time. So yeah, all I'll say about this video is it's quite an atmospheric place. It feels a little bit weird, a little bit odd, and amusingly actually, and I don't have a picture of it, we were on the way to the location, well, a meeting point before the location, and there were lights in the sky, and it was incredible. There were these lights, and they were sort of seemed to be reflecting off the sky. Sorry about that. I had to kind of pause it there for a little bit. Somebody was at the door, just coming in the door, I should say. Also, I just kind of realised that I'm looking at myself on the screen and I look like an old photograph because everything is either beige or brown. So I've put backposts behind me just to kind of show that I am actually living in this century and not in the 1970s. Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to jump into this video. Before I do, actually, just to let you know, I'll give you a bit of an idea of how many people were there, what the conditions were like. It was actually a really, really nice evening. It wasn't cold. It was partially a little bit of cloud cover. And oh yeah, the bit about the UFOs. Yeah, as we were driving down to the location, we stopped to meet. But just on the way, we're looking up in the sky, and there was these fantastic lights, and they were like there, and it was a bit like Close Encounters, like do 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 do, and you could see these lights in the sky. And I thought, and we were like both sort of craning our necks to kind of like, what the hell is that in the sky? I think we've hit the extraterrestrial jackpot here, and there's lights in the sky. As it turns out, I believe it was something to maybe do with a fireworks display, and there's also a light display as well. And I've heard other people talk about this light display, and it's kind of gone around the Midlands a little bit. But it looked fantastic because it was sort of reflecting off a cloud, and it was subtle enough that it was like very prominent, but you couldn't quite tell whether it was reflecting off a cloud or whether it was coming from just behind the clouds. So it did make me think for a little bit as to what I was looking at. So yeah, we went down to the location from there. The location it's in quite an urban area. There is like an estate with some really nice houses on. It's not too far away from it. But as soon as you get into this area, it does feel like you're miles away from anywhere. So it's really, really odd. And I believe that a lot of the reports that have been born out of this area have been from people seeing things in the sky. But like I said, my friend has managed to get a few unbelievable photographs and stuff. So yeah, we got down to location. There were in total there's 6 of us, and yeah, my initial intention was, if there had been any more of us, was to kind of split up and maybe triangulate from 3 different positions, so that we could, if we did see anything, we could maybe either debunk it or confirm what we were seeing. But we began the night with probably like a little bit of a tour. I mean, I've been around this area, like this would have been my 3rd time around this area. And yeah, the first time I went to this area, it felt really, really odd. I see something was weirdly kind of following us, but I'm just then thinking about the more paranormal aspects of this whole place, and that not necessarily to do with anything extraterrestrial or UFOs or UAPs and anything. So yeah, we had a little bit of a tour when we got there, and I think we headed towards these very old and ancient woods. I've got my headphones on, and I'm just going to dive straight into these videos. If you hear anything, please let us know the time that it happens. Please ignore also any timestamp that's on the bottom, as I don't always reset the clock on my camcorder So it's, you know, you might think, well, this is from like 4 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever. And I do apologise for that. It's something I really need to get into the habit of doing. But yeah, so the video starts from the point where I think we're just going into the woods.
We can have a walk up around and follow it round if you want to. If you couldn't hear any horses do, it's 4 odd Gideon coming to you. Shine. Yeah, I think it was a probably to set some oil shine. Oh, that was a rat or something like that. Depends if it's still there. You smell that?
In a flower shop.
Okay. Yeah, contact the dirty, yeah. Good one. Yeah, you can put the side of my hand. Yeah, I've been doing that all the time. Oh, we've got the Bigfoot. Ooh. The Bigfoot nests again. Oh. Bigfoot nests. There's insects there, yeah.
Is it not? Oh, no, insects.
Oh.
Round like that. No, that's been rooted up, hasn't it?
Yeah,
That's right.
we don't know, there's quite a big one there.
Maybe something's done that.
What about that one?
Everywhere I go.
Oh, don't give me jibby-jibbies now, I've been fine.
And Blair Witch when they just keep
Blair
in circles.
Witch, that is the one I'm thinking. No, that's been married, hasn't it?
Of course it has.
Like kids have made that.
Yeah, they have. Because if you look over the one over there, you can see the handprint. Where they've had paint.
What was that?
You fucking around?
Did you just hear something then? A leaf.
Leaves are dropping off the tree.
It's like a leaf.
The swamp thing comes out of the swamp now. On the side of the swamp.
I think that's because we have sort of Yeah.
Like not just when you guys are down there.
See, I told you it's totally different in the dark, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I wouldn't want to walk through it. Not that I'm scared. Oh, that's that thing, isn't it? That's not a hanging man.
Oh, something. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they've been swinging in there. Well, everything else at the far side, there's a house in the gap.
Yeah, there is, yeah.
By the poltergeist tree.
The tree, yeah, that was
Not there's a poltergeist there, it just looks like the tree out the poltergeist. So we have a stand for 5 minutes and see if we can...
Yeah, can do, yeah. Shall we have a video here for 5 minutes?
So we have a stand for 5 minutes and go dark.
I'll get my meter out actually before we go down. What was the name of the chap that... Gideon.
Yeah.
And he was part of the gunpowder plot.
Yeah. It's like the... what would you say? Manservant, I can't remember the guy's name. From Old Beach. Quite interesting, we got fireworks off and we have to a guy from the gunpowder. Yeah. You're here, Gideon, show yourself. Let us know. Yeah.
If you're here, Gideon, show yourself. Let us hear the sound of your horse as you fled. What was that? Something just happened?
Rumble?
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, yeah.
There was a very light flash through the trees and then a rumble. Yeah, when there was panic and there was locked down to the wall. Oh my god, what's that like? What's that to me? I don't know whether Martin really. That did sound a bit like distant artillery fire. You saw my video? Yeah. What was the other things that was all the
Yeah.
Put the light down for a second, wouldn't you? Let's give it another go. Gideon, if you're here, can you do that again for us, please? Every now and again you get military stuff going there, and then you get thing off the all that kind of stuff. They're still good. There's a good retro vintage shop there as well.
So this next little bit of videos from when we left the woods and we travelled back along the tracks out to the open fields, just to basically see if anything was going to happen. On the first night that I went to this location, a couple of weeks before, there was a weird light anomaly that I couldn't quite capture, as it seemed to kind of be circling around the field, but it was so far up, it was really difficult to kind of fully capture it very well with my night vision. As I've already said, my night vision isn't the best. So we're kind of like on these little paths now, between fields, and we're not too far away from a main road, but it's everything on these fields just feels so distant from anywhere else. It's pretty cool.
More
There's a match up there.
No.
You know where the water is? Yeah. Gas smell.
Oh,
Right up there, mate.
Oh, we've got the matches. That's in now.
yeah.
Still
Exactly.
going for it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You were reading my mind then. I'm thinking, what have we got?
That's
Have we got
what
ley
they-
line activity or
Yeah.
something just like that?
But it just seems to
Ley-line
be.
activity. It's just my line.
Yeah.
There.
There's ley lines on here, isn't there?
Yeah.
It might be worth looking to see if there's a ley line. I should have brought the dowsing rod to go to Simon. Have you got them?
Yes.
You got the dowsing rods?
Oh, right, we'll try them.
I mean, I've got
Try
a few
them.
to do. I'll give it a go. Look at him in his pocket already.
Well done that man.
Look at that. I told him not to bring them.
You're still getting it?
So,
I'm
not entirely
I can hold
sure.
it flat and there's nothing, and I'll hold it up and there's something. So I don't know whether it's that.
No, I'm wondering, are we picking up the radar off Anthony Green?
But wouldn't we pick it up here as well? Wouldn't
Yeah, it'd be all over, wouldn't it?
Oh, well, yeah, that's the point. We should be able to get it in, wouldn't we? Yeah.
Right, so where are we? Because I put a light on these things. I don't know if I'm doing them right. It's been a while. What do I do?
Just hold them and walk forward. Yes.
Oh, hold on. I don't know what's going on.
Do you want me? Hang on. There we go.
I haven't done them for years. I was always had them crossed over.
Right. It's one of those things like carbon dioxide stuff.
Maybe the other side, because Simon was on the other side as well.
Yeah. Well, I can't smell it.
You know, the other side of his head.
That's why I think I don't know what's going on. But surely it should read.
Okay.
Crossed a little bit there, hasn't it?
Got the fluffy one. Okay.
We should be recording this.
Bizarre, isn't it?
Are you
Should have brought
recording
yours
it?
as well, Kim.
Huh?
Should bring yours as well.
My K2?
Yes.
It's a bit
That
broad.
Bloody bizarre. Yeah, they're crossing.
I don't know. This must be a ley line.
That's weird.
What about up where Simon first found it and then he went round the other side? And he has it there as well. We're trying this side. Still a passive.
That's right with the electric pylon.
And it's not
I'm
doing
just
it,
Not
is
doing
it?
it. Oh, that's interesting.
I may have to change the battery, but
What batteries does it take?
no volts. We've
But I
got no
think
volume.
You're alright, you're doing yourself.
That was a bloody...
So I don't know if it's just because you can see that the readings are all over the shop. But I can hold it up and I'll get one reading, and then I hold it flat and I'll get a different reading.
Yeah.
But we have got
I've never done that before with any divining rods.
Yeah.
I used to do it all the time. I loved my dowsing rod.
Don't know where you can do it, Charles.
I do.
It's definitely doing it, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So do that again?
Definitely.
There's more down to your left as well that there was just an over.
That is weird. Look at that.
Crossing. So
I think we
tell you
need
what I
to
want to
try
do
it
now,
with
just to kind of
Simon
make
first.
this objective. Kim, can you do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All I want you to do is walk from this side of a path
There are ways.
there.
Yeah.
Ah,
You alright?
Yeah. Well, from that side of the path and
Thorny.
right, okay.
Need a torch on me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's fine, it's fine. I've got it filmed anyway on night vision. So yep, yep. Okay, I mean that's interesting. I mean, so we can. And there's no.
Going again?
You can do, yeah. It's happening out now, isn't it?
You can see I'm not doing nothing there.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yep. Yep.
There's definitely something. That's got to be a ley line.
There's something there.
Yeah, because Steve did that over there. They didn't even budge.
No, that was really interesting.
Yeah. You having to go? Do you want to go?
Yeah, sure. Do you want to?
Yeah.
Okay, you can hold that. It's filming. So.
Okay, where do you look?
Just look through there and you can.
Oh yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Don't need to talk.
Okay.
Hold it flat and nothing.
You're coming up.
Something's going on.
Oh. You go then.
Right.
Does someone want to put a torch on,
I've
go?
never done this before, so I'm going to relax. Okay, I'm relaxed.
Right there.
Holding them very lightly in my hands, and I'm just going to walk forwards.
Have you let them run free?
Yeah.
Without holding them underneath.
Okay. All right. Let me just try that again.
Right.
The first time I've ever used these. Okay. There's no way of me affecting them from beneath, is there? Okay.
No, just got to hold.
Right. Okay. Hold my hands down a bit. So right. Okay. Let me just get this. So I start from. Right, as far as I know, they're level, and they're slowly coming together. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Weird, isn't it?
yeah.
Weird. I like that camera thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I reckon.
I didn't do too much videoing, but we had some really weird readings coming off these bushes. My meter was spiking over a tri-field. They were using a K2. Now we suspect that maybe the batteries may have been a little issue with the K2, but my meter was also showing some readings, not spiking enough to actually make it sound off, but there's definitely something there, something albeit kind of like quite small. And with the dowsing rods, I'm not sure if when I was using them, I was using them correctly. But they did seem to come together, and as you can see in the video, coming backwards and forwards, they kind of showed that they open out and they come together. The other thing was, from I think it was a week or a week before, we went edge on a Sunday during daylight, and we kind of noticed like the weird configuration of the trees, the way they'd grown all across one side. But where these lines of bushes were, they were kind of like, it's almost like somebody had cut them. Now I did question whether this was maybe a farming thing that had happened. They had actually been cut to allow machinery up there, but they're quite high up, and I wouldn't have thought that machinery that big would be used on a small holding such as this. So it's like a really curious place to visit, and we're definitely going to be going back there again. And again, I won't be able to give a location, but obviously if something does manifest or appear, and it's not just UAPs we're interested in there. There is, like I said at the beginning, there is other stuff happening. So yeah, I might do a lone vigil somewhere. My idea originally was to have like a few of us, but kind of like split us up into groups, and I was definitely considering on doing a like standoff like vigil by myself, just to see if anything kind of happens. I'm not amazingly brave. I do go to places on my own, but it's usually during the day. So yeah, I'm a bit of a scaredy cat when it comes to being in dark places by myself. I think there's health and safety issues as well. But yeah, I might try that next time. And the terrain's kind of fairly flat, so you can't really go too far wrong. So folks, that's about it. Like I said at the top of the video, that I want to get back to Cannon Chase. We are intending to investigate a really interesting area where we've had certain Bigfoot related phenomena that's happened between the two areas, and for definite we're looking to get there in December. So but I'm hoping to have like maybe a recce video for you before then. I intend to go up there on Wednesday by myself and have a good look around just to make sure that it's accessible on foot. Yeah, just to see the lay of the land, spend a couple of hours up there, take a few videos, and you never really know what to expect at Cannon Chase either. So yeah, till next time, take care of yourselves, and I'm really kind of glad that I've got a few more people tuning into this channel now. I'm not in it for, dollars or anything like that. I just really want to, have somewhere to kind of put the videos that we make as a team. Just as a record, really. And I can't go too far wrong with these videos, as there's no kind of copyright issues, unlike my music channel. So yeah, hopefully I'll have another one for you a lot sooner than the last one, so pretty soon, maybe at the end of this week.